one of the players, man, you know what I mean, YouTube personality, aka Gentleman of Leisure. He passed away in 2022. But one thing he used to always say was to put love in your body. And what it means, like whatever food, information, whatever, in the morning time, you know what I'm saying, make sure it's something positive, whether it's even information stuff that did you listen to some hood stuff in the morning, something ghetto, something traumaful, or something serene. So this is my prep. This is what I do in the AM. I get this right here. Usually this coffee brewed overnight. Add this little coffee right here. You know, that's to give me the energy throughout the day. And yes, I'm fat. I know that. We're working on that little by little. So heat that up. It's my lunch bag. It is empty, but there's certain things I put in it. Make sure to clean it out pretty good. Right. I do a lot of work outside. So I put a few frozen water bottles at the bottom. Serves two purposes. Keeps my food chill. Keeps my food nice and chill. And when it melts down, you know, when my other water bottles run out, I can use it. Now here's the cool thing, right? I done prepared lunch for like the next 4 days. So I got 1, 2, 3 little baggies of grapes. 3 days rather. I got I started getting away from potato chips and I'm starting to eat seasoned veggies. Like I got a little salt, pepper, and a little Cajun on these French cut green beans. You can eat them raw, you know. So I got 3 of those for the next 3 days. And then I made these sliders. These are chicken salad sliders. I use a wine bread, chicken salad with the grapes and the walnuts. That's it. So that's gonna be lunch for the next 3 days. And I'm taking them to work with me. I'm taking everything with me because staying with my lady tonight. You know what I'm saying? You say my Chinese? No, I ain't Chinese. I'm black. I'm a black American, man. I'm a man. I'm a FBA. Foundational Black American. I think there's some native in there. You said I must be Japanese. No, I'm not Japanese at all. Do I look Japanese? Oh, really? Do I look Japanese? Mm-hmm. Right? I had some apple juice from the night before. And the thing is, like you see, this is all prepped up. It's all about having your stuff prepared days and days in advance so you save time during the day, you know? What else do I need? I think, damn, I'm so far ahead of the game, I don't know what to do with myself. Take that coffee, you know? Add the coffee to the situation. Let me screenshot this because I'm going to create a thumbnail using this image. Bam. All right. And like I said, I'm putting this whole bag in here of food. Anything else I need in there? One thing I need another Gatorade. Powerade, rather. Because I'm pretty much done because I prepared all my stuff the night before, pretty much. Like, I'm American. Like if you don't want to be rushing to work, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times we're in a rush when we're getting ready for work and stuff like that because take so long. We take so long to prepare it. I got this Gatorade right here. Powerade. I don't know. I keep calling it Gatorade. Water is good, right? Water is cool, but thing about the Gatorades and the Powerades, they have electrolytes, they have salt and potassium and different things that water standalone do not have. You said I look Russian? How I look Russian? What is y'all talking about? Y'all bugging. Now I'm a Russian guy. You sound like a Bolshevik. Y'all are funny. Oh, and you said I look Korean now. Man, y'all saying I look like all kinds of stuff, man. Black. Is it the lighting? What if I lower the lighting? Y'all giving me all kinds of races. Maybe because y'all racist bars. Where did my cookies go? Please tell me they didn't eat. Thank God. For my own guilty pleasure, this is the guilty pleasure of the show. And like, share, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? You say I look like a guy from a Korean band. That's cool. Like, if you want to roast me, I would suggest just trying to be funny. What's your name? Abhinav Patel. Also, you Indian. Y'all all got the same weird ass names that's loaded with consonants. Impossible to pronounce. Well, I load up my cookies. And I ate that and immediately I felt it hit my bloodstream. Now, y'all got a couple more minutes before I got to take off. But I'm going to show you this little breakfast hack that I do so you can get a lot of protein in it, right? So this is what I do. I take a banana. I put the banana in a bowl, Boom. I take some peanut butter, right? Show y'all what I do. Take a little bit of cereal. This is a little bit different from the tap in. Yesterday I was trying to show y'all one of my throwback videos. I don't know if it came out. I scheduled it. I don't know if it streamed or not. There's no way of me knowing. But I know once I do this, and I schedule it for, y'all getting 2 for 1. Y'all getting this right here. And I'm going to schedule it for 4:30 because there's other things I'm working on. Unless I'm inspired to go live then, but I'm going live right now, So I add a little milk, right? Just a little bit. Then, so you see what I got? Got the almond milk, got the cereal, got the banana, the usual suspects. Then I'll take a scoop of this peanut butter, right? And I try my best. To mix it all up. Mix it up as best as I can. I probably use too much milk. It's all good. Looking at that time, I got about 10 more minutes before I got to bounce. Let me try a fork. It's not mixing as well as I would like. Notice this meal doesn't have any meat at all, right? So I'll mix this up. Yeah, the fork worked way better. So I'm getting my protein, I'm getting my fiber. There's no meat. Not saying there's anything wrong with it, but you know, the older you get, the harder it is for your body to process some things. So I mix that up, and I'm about to do something else. You're probably gonna think it's gross, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I don't want to waste it. See this? Throw some fruit in there. There's strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, mango. Boom. Throw that in there as well. I'm gonna freeze the rest of this because I'm gonna be here tomorrow. I know what I'm gonna do with it. Freeze the rest of that. Let's mix it up a little more. You see what I got going on? Let me see. Let me just flip the camera. This is better. It looks gross, but that's how you put love in your body, bro. And on top of that, not just that, first of all, put everything back. Right? Put everything back. Get yourself, if you got messed up intestines like me, you want to get yourself some Metamucil before you even mess with any of that. Only drink water that is about room temperature. It's better for your digestion. Programming. This is programming the body, bro. This is putting love in your body. You love yourself. You do things to get the optimal use out of you, out of yourself, regardless of your age. So we're gonna comfortably bust this down right now, you know, and build. I don't like that light behind me. That's much better. Keep the light in front. It's that simple. You do something that simple, that'll set you up for the day. This is good too. It don't got no meat in it. I think this is a legit vegan meal. Skippy crunchy peanut butter, banana, cinnamon oat crunch Cheerios, almond milk, strawberry, blueberry, blackberry, mango. Banging. In life, especially when you get older, sometimes your body, it just tells you, like, listen, you might like eating certain things and doing certain things in the morning, but your body can't really process it like it used to. So you can continue to willfully program the struggle, you can adapt and make changes. I choose the latter. My intestinal issues. I've been dealing with this really for 5 years, but like aggressively for the last 3 years. And it goes up and down. Some weeks I do bad, like, it's hard for me to go to the bathroom. Some weeks it's a little easier. It goes, but a lot of times when I'm struggling, it's my fault. I wasn't drinking enough water. I was eating too many processed foods. I was using too many laxatives. It's all on me. When you're a kid, when you're young, you have a young metabolism. You don't have to be conscious about how much stuff you eat because your body is a freaking high-level furnace that could just burn up anything like nothing. But it gradually does damage over time. So when it's not as strong and not as optimal, you start to pay the price. And sometimes your body will force you to change. Like when your intestines are so messed up where you got to struggle to use the bathroom and you're tired of using pills and medicine and all that, that's forcing you to change. You said Minnesota checking in F Ice. Yeah, my boy just got caught up. I ain't going to elaborate too much, but one of my peoples got caught up in that. But if you're an immigrant, you gotta make sure all your paper right, man. I got the safari hat on because I'm about to go to work and I work outside, so I might as well just have it on. Plus, it look dope. I look like Sean Price. I'm good, yo. Minnesota. Don't y'all got a lot of Somalian scammers out there? Flyers 97. People was doing America dirty way before ICE got here. Facts. Give me a moment. And that's my routine. That's pretty much it. It's simple, man. I'm eating aggressive because I'm short for time. That's funny. Who said that? Damn, I can't read. Parata 4875. Yeah. I'm running a tad late. That's why. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? Put a little love in your body. I didn't have to prepare lunch or anything like that because it was done. That was finished the night before. Go to work and make this bag real quick. You feel me? We outside, as the young folks would say. And the floorboards on this porch is loose. Gonna have to replace it eventually. And the replacer is going to be me. I know that. If we want to save thousands of dollars, I'm going to get it done. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Getting ready for work. Put love in your body, as SINFUL the P and Freeze Love would say. Only thing that was missing from that whole process just now was exercise. But I feel like moving around like that, you know what I mean? Like, as you said, eating aggressive and all, that's a form of exercise.
Misunderstanding and disappointment before the day was over. This was never an exercise in pessimism. It was an exercise in clarity. They understood that expecting perfection leaves the mind fragile, while expecting reality allows it to remain steady. When something difficult finally happened, they were not shocked into panic because they had already accepted that life unfolds according to its own nature, not according to our preferences. Preparation transformed surprise into recognition. Instead of thinking, "This should not be happening," they quietly thought, "This is one of the moments I knew would eventually arrive." There is a remarkable psychological difference between being surprised by hardship and being prepared for its possibility. Consider two people facing the same setback. One believes setbacks are rare interruptions that should never have happened. The other understands they are ordinary chapters in every meaningful life. Their external circumstances are identical, yet their internal experience is completely different. The first person immediately feels cheated, while the second begins looking for the wisest response.
I could play.
The challenge has not changed, but the relationship.
I could play the YouTube in the background while going live.
Often determines whether a difficult season becomes a
Y'all about to listen to this deep-ish for a little bit.
or lingering bitterness.
It's I always listen to videos on Stoicism.
But our expectations
I did not know I could play the YouTube in the background. I didn't know
long before
while streaming.
actually occurs. This
Yeah.
perspective also changes.
So I'm gonna let this rock a little bit. Let it talk for me.
Many people think courage means never feeling fear or uncertainty.
I'm gonna title this episode
Courage differently.
"Put Love in Your Body,"
Continue acting according
and we just gonna ride to work together. I did not know I could do this, and I figured out.
have to disappear before
I figured out how to do it. Basically, I go live, right? I have the video playing, right?
waiting for
Then I go live,
often means
and then when I turn on my car,
progress belongs to those who accept that uncertainty
my car automatically picks up,
worthwhile pursuit.
you know, because it's connected to the Wi-Fi. And when my car turns on, it automatically turns on the Wi-Fi. That's pretty dope. See, sometimes you discover things that help your production on accident. That's what I did. I just get to work.
Even when outcomes remained unclear. A seed does not become a tree overnight simply because someone wishes it to. Growth often happens beneath the surface long before visible change appears. The same is true of character. Some of our most important transformations take place quietly, hidden beneath ordinary days that seem uneventful while they are unfolding. Gradually, this habit creates a quieter form of confidence. It is not the confidence that believes nothing will ever go wrong. It is the confidence that knows difficulties can be met without losing yourself. That difference is profound. One depends entirely on favorable circumstances. The other depends on steady character. The first disappears whenever life changes. The second grows stronger because life changes. Over time, setbacks lose much of their power to intimidate because they are no longer viewed as signs of failure. They become opportunities to practice patience, resilience, wisdom, and perspective in ways comfort never allows. The goal is not to eliminate uncertainty, but to become someone who remains grounded while walking through it. That is the quiet strength the Stoics cultivated, and it remains just as powerful today because human nature has changed far less than the world around it. Seneca practiced this discipline in a way that surprised many people around him. Although he possessed significant wealth later in life, he deliberately chose certain days to live with almost nothing. He wore simple clothing, ate plain food, and slept without luxury, even though greater comfort was available to him. Before beginning these periods, he would ask himself whether this was really the condition he feared so much. The answer, repeated again and again through experience, was almost always the same. The discomfort was real, but it was far less frightening than the imagination had suggested. By voluntarily stepping into simplicity, he discovered that many fears lose their power once they are faced directly. The mind often exaggerates future hardship because it has never tested its own resilience. Experience quietly corrects that illusion better than reassurance ever can. This practice was never about rejecting pleasure or pretending that comfort has no value. The Stoics appreciated good food, warm homes, meaningful friendships, and moments of ease. They simply refused to let those things become conditions for happiness. There is an important difference between enjoying something and believing you cannot live well without it. The first creates gratitude. The second creates dependence. Whenever peace depends entirely on external conditions, life becomes surprisingly fragile because circumstances are constantly changing. Wealth can disappear. Health.
This is an example of putting love in your body. You see this positive stuff I'm listening to in the morning on my way to work?
Whenever fortune shifts. The Stoics wanted something steadier. They wanted a mind capable of remaining balanced, even when life became less comfortable than expected.
The information you feed your mind,
offers an interesting parallel to this.
the food that you eat,
Researchers have
the
found
drink that you consume,
adapt to improvements in comfort.
even the way you breathe.
Hedonic adaptation.
In the nose,
Gradually becomes ordinary. The new home eventually feels
slowly, out the mouth, but purse your lips. You don't got to do that. It's hard to maintain that, but you know, sometimes for a few breaths, do some conscious breathing. Breathe deep, slowly in your nose, out slowly through your lips, like purse your lips.
And begin searching for the next improvement. Voluntary simplicity interrupts that cycle.
Let your bloodstream get as much oxygen as possible. I feel like if you're breathing out too fast, you're letting the oxygen rush out. So the body can't even really, maximize the amount of oxygen you get because you're breathing out too fast. It's kind of like drinking water. If you drink water too fast, it passes through your body and passes through your kidneys, and you urinate it out too fast, and you're not really getting hydrated. Patience, baby.
Instead of driving a short distance, spending time without reaching for a phone during every quiet moment.
Pay attention.
Eating a simple meal when something more elaborate is available. Taking a cold shower. Exercising when comfort encourages staying still. Or sitting peacefully with boredom instead of immediately escaping into distraction. None of these actions are impressive by themselves. Their value comes from what they teach the mind. They remind us that temporary discomfort does not have to become immediate suffering. We are often far more capable than our habits suggest. Each small challenge gently expands confidence because it proves that discomfort can be experienced without panic. That lesson slowly begins appearing in situations far beyond the original exercise. There is another benefit hidden beneath these practices, one that is easy to overlook. Voluntary discomfort strengthens appreciation in ways comfort alone never can. A warm meal tastes different after genuine hunger. Rest feels deeper after honest effort. Silence becomes more meaningful after constant noise. Accumulating more reasons to be thankful. The Stoics understood something more subtle. Gratitude often grows because we remove, even briefly, the things we have stopped noticing. Their temporary absence allows appreciation to awaken again. Suddenly, the ordinary feels extraordinary, not because the world changed, but because attention became clearer. Little by little, this discipline also reshapes our relationship with fear. Many anxieties revolve around losing comfort, security, or convenience. Yet every time we willingly practice living with a little less, those fears become less convincing. The mind begins trusting its own resilience instead of doubting it. Confidence no longer depends on the promise that life will always remain easy. It grows from repeated evidence that even when circumstances become difficult, we remain capable of responding with patience, clarity, and steadiness. That is the quiet freedom the Stoics sought. They were not trying to make life harder than necessary. They were preparing themselves so that when life inevitably became difficult on its own, they would already know something deeply reassuring. They had faced discomfort before, they had learned from it, and they had discovered that lasting peace had never depended on perfect comfort in the first place. That realization remains just as liberating now as it was more than 2,000 years ago. Once we discover that peace depends on far less than we once believed, our attention naturally shifts towards something less visible, but far more influential. The body is shaped by what it repeatedly consumes, and the mind follows the same principle. Every conversation, every headline, every book, every social media post, every opinion we welcome into our attention quietly leaves behind a trace. Most people think they choose what enters their minds, but habits often choose for them. A few idle minutes become endless scrolling. One notification becomes an hour of distraction. Before long, the thoughts occupying the mind no longer feel borrowed. They begin sounding like our own. The Stoics understood that this process happens slowly, almost invisibly, which is precisely why they treated it with such care. They knew that character is not only built by what we intentionally practice, it is also shaped by what we repeatedly allow ourselves to absorb without question. Modern life offers more information than any generation in history has ever possessed, yet information and wisdom have never been the same thing. Every day we are invited into arguments that have nothing to do with our lives, encouraged to compare ourselves with carefully edited versions of strangers, and surrounded by opinions that compete endlessly for our attention. The result is rarely greater understanding. More often, it is mental exhaustion. The mind was never designed to carry thousands of voices at once. It gradually becomes crowded, making it difficult to distinguish genuine conviction from borrowed belief. The Stoics recognized that attention is one of our most valuable resources because wherever attention settles, reading a single meaningful page with complete attention often changes a person more than rushing through an entire book simply to reach the last chapter. Depth has always transformed people more reliably than endless variety. Psychology describes this through the principle of cognitive priming. The information we repeatedly encounter influences how we interpret later experiences, often without conscious awareness. Spend hours surrounded by conflict, and the world begins appearing more threatening than it truly is. Constant exposure to comparison makes ordinary achievements feel insufficient. Endless urgency creates the impression that every moment requires immediate reaction. None of these influences announce themselves.
Sub to the channel.
They settle quietly beneath awareness until they become part of our normal way of thinking. The Stoics arrived at a similar understanding simply observing human behavior. They recognized that a peaceful mind does not emerge by accident. It grows through repeated exposure to ideas that strengthen judgment instead of weakening it. Every influence either steadies the mind or slowly unsettles it. This does not mean withdrawing completely from the world or refusing to hear opinions different from our own. The Stoics were not encouraging isolation. They were encouraging discernment. There is an important difference. A healthy mind remains open without becoming unguarded. It listens carefully without accepting everything it hears. It asks whether a particular influence encourages wisdom, patience, honesty, and courage, or whether it simply stimulates fear, outrage, and distraction. That question quietly changes the way we choose books, conversations, entertainment, and even silence itself. Sometimes the wisest influence is not another opinion at all. Sometimes it is a few uninterrupted moments alone with our own thoughts, allowing the mind to settle before inviting another voice inside. Over time, these choices become less about avoiding negativity and more about intentionally cultivating clarity. A thoughtful conversation begins carrying more value than endless debate. A timeless book becomes more nourishing than another passing controversy. Quiet reflection feels less uncomfortable because the mind is no longer dependent on constant stimulation. Even ordinary moments become opportunities to strengthen attention rather than surrender it. This gradual shift changes the quality of everyday life in ways that are difficult to measure but impossible to ignore. Decisions become steadier because they are no longer driven by every passing opinion. Emotional reactions become gentler because fewer unnecessary influences are constantly demanding attention. The mind slowly regains its natural ability to focus on what truly deserves care. Little by little, wisdom stops feeling like something collected from countless sources and begins revealing itself as something carefully cultivated through consistent choices. Every idea welcomed into the mind leaves a mark, just as every meal leaves its mark upon the body. The happiest people understand this quietly. They are not happier because they know more facts than everyone else. They are happier because they have learned to protect the quality of what shapes their thinking. They choose influences that strengthen rather than scatter them, conversations that deepen rather than drain them, and moments of silence that understanding to take root. In doing so, they discover that lasting clarity rarely comes from consuming more. It grows from choosing carefully, reflecting patiently, and allowing timeless wisdom to become a trusted companion through the ordinary rhythm of daily life. As the mind becomes quieter, something begins to change that is difficult to explain until it has been experienced. Gratitude no longer feels like a habit that must be forced or a list that must be completed before bed. Instead, it becomes a different way of looking at life itself. Most people assume gratitude is something reserved for extraordinary moments, for major achievements, unexpected good fortune, or dreams finally becoming reality. The Stoics saw it differently. They believed the greatest treasures often arrive so consistently that they become invisible. A healthy body that continues breathing without effort, a familiar voice answering the phone, the warmth of sunlight through a window, a peaceful evening after a demanding day. These ordinary gifts quietly surround us, yet the mind easily overlooks them because familiarity has convinced us they are guaranteed. The happiest people rarely possess more than everyone else. They simply notice more of what has already been present all along. Marcus Aurelius began his private writings in a way that surprises many readers. Before reflecting on hardship, duty, or personal discipline, he spent time remembering the people who had shaped him. He expressed gratitude for the patience of one teacher, the kindness of another, the integrity of family members, and the examples left by those who came before him. He did not rush toward his own struggles. He first acknowledged the countless influences that had quietly guided him throughout life. That choice reveals something important about the Stoic understanding of gratitude. reminded the mind that even during challenging seasons, goodness continued existing beside hardship. Both could be true at the same time. The ability to recognize one did not require denying the other. There is an interesting tendency within human nature that psychologists sometimes call the negativity bias. The mind naturally pays more attention to problems than to ordinary moments of peace, because throughout history, noticing danger increased the chances of survival. While this instinct once protected human life, it now often leaves people constantly searching for what is wrong, while overlooking what is quietly going right. One mistake receives more attention than 10 successes. One criticism echoes louder than several sincere compliments. A single disappointment overshadows an entire week filled with ordinary blessings. The Stoics understood this tendency long before modern psychology described it. Their practice of gratitude gently corrected that imbalance by deliberately directing attention toward what remained good, instead of allowing every difficulty to dominate awareness. This shift in attention does not require pretending that life is perfect. In fact, gratitude becomes most meaningful when practiced during imperfect circumstances. Anyone can appreciate life when everything unfolds according to plan. The real transformation begins when gratitude survives disappointment. A difficult week may still contain a loyal friend. An uncertain season may still offer moments of quiet beauty. Even grief often exists beside love, because the depth of sorrow reflects the depth of what once mattered. Gratitude allows these truths to exist together without forcing one to erase the other. The Stoics never encouraged blind optimism. They encouraged honest perception. Honest perception notices pain without becoming blind to everything else. That balance protects the mind from becoming trapped inside a single emotional experience. Many people unknowingly postpone gratitude until life reaches an imagined destination. They believe they will appreciate the present after achieving the next goal, earning more money, finding the right relationship, or solving every lingering problem. Yet each milestone quickly becomes ordinary once it arrives. The promotion becomes another job. The larger home becomes familiar. The long-awaited opportunity quietly becomes part of everyday routine. Without realizing it, the mind simply moves the finish line once again. The Stoics warned against this habit because they understood that gratitude delayed is often gratitude denied. If appreciation depends entirely on future circumstances, it never truly arrives. There will always be another goal waiting beyond the current one. The happiest people interrupt that endless pursuit by appreciating the present while still working faithfully toward tomorrow. This practice also changes the way we see other people. Small acts of kindness become easier to notice. The co-worker who offers help without expecting recognition. The family member who quietly carries responsibilities every day. The stranger whose patience makes an ordinary moment easier. These gestures often disappear into routine simply because they happen so frequently. Gratitude restores our ability to see them clearly. It reminds us that much of what makes life meaningful is not dramatic at all. It lives inside ordinary conversations, familiar faces, shared meals, thoughtful words, and quiet moments that pass unnoticed unless attention has been trained to recognize them. Happiness grows stronger whenever appreciation becomes more detailed. Instead of vaguely feeling thankful, we begin understanding exactly why certain moments deserve our attention. There is also a profound sense of freedom.
And as I tell all my young and up-and-coming comedians, there's no such thing as writer's block. If the comedy guys have not given you anything new to scribe on that page, it is their way of telling you to work out the things they already gave you. Stay away from the nonsense, stay away from the negativity, stay away from the gossip, stay away from the rumors, stay away from the foolishness, focus on the funny, and lead with love, because life is not something that happens in spite of you. Life is an experience for you to behold, so get to behold it. That being said, this is something a little bit different. Y'all gonna see it pre-recorded. I'm just trying different ways to give you guys content and not the same single thing every day, but just make sure, just know And be sure that you always gonna get something on that 4 o'clock, 4:30 mark, whether it's me live or me pre-recorded, and you get daily content, just daily, and you get content daily in general, because I'm always putting out comedy shorts and things of that nature. You see my Cash App, just different ways to donate and support so we can grow this thing. It's in the live chat. You know what I'm saying? $ Mo Green 79 is my Cash App, and my Venmo is at MOGREEN 79. So it's Mo Green 79 for my Venmo and my Cash App, but you know the Venmo is at, and the Cash App is $. You know what I mean? Yeah. So just help your boy out, and if you don't see it there, you could also see it in my YouTube description about me, of who I am or whatever. It's all there. Holla at y'all. See you at 4:30, because this is gonna rebroadcast at 4:30 today. Peace.